Welcome to Reddit Recreations, your home for some chilled out vibes, a few Reddit stories, so grab yourself a cup of tea, have a sit down, and here we go. We're starting as we mean to go on in this channel, with a story, am I wrong for not warning my wife about my booty rack? Let's get into it. Okay, context. My wife is weird about booty stuff. I'm not talking about naughty booty stuff. That's obviously personal and up to the individual. I mean her unwillingness to acknowledge that anything comes out of booties, or that people even have booty holes. When we bought our house, I wanted to install a bidet, but my wife was against it. I told her she doesn't have to use it, but she said just seeing it would gross her out. I mentioned not feeling clean from wiping with paper, and she didn't understand. Not everyone has naturally hairless booty holes that barely require wiping. She asked if I could find an alternative. I said I could use wet wipes, but they're not flushable. None of them are, by the way. So they'd have to go in the trash bin. She didn't like the idea of poopy things in the trash can and told me to figure something else out that she didn't have to know about. So, onto my booty rag. I took an old towel, tore it up, and installed a discreet hook behind the toilet to hang the rag. It's completely hidden. The way our bathroom is set up, we only have one. The sink is right next to the toilet, so I'm able to wet the rag, clean up, wash it in the sink, and hang it back up. I swap it out a couple times a week. Gross? Maybe. Definitely. I'm sorry, I gotta cut it. This is definitely gross. So I figured that's my business since my wife did not want to hear about my booty hole cleaning habits. Now recently, my wife and I were showering together. Oh, I see where this is going. Oh no. So she forgot to bring a washcloth in for herself. I don't use one. I use a sisal pouch with bar soap. Don't know what a sisal pouch is. I offered to hop out and grab her a washcloth, but she said, "No, don't worry about it. I'll just use yours and reach for my booty rag." I said, "You don't want to use that." She asked why. I said, "Just trust me." She kept pushing. Oh, she's definitely used that before, hasn't she? This is not the first time she's used it. So I came clean about my booty rag. She was horrified, started dry heaving, and kicked me out of the shower. Apparently, there it is. Apparently, she had been using it as a washcloth for years whenever she forgot hers, which is often. What I don't get is how she thought that was my washcloth, because A, it's hidden behind the frickin' toilet, and B, she knows I don't use a washcloth. We got into an argument. From my perspective, it was obvious that my booty rag wasn't a washcloth. All bets are off when you use someone else's stuff without asking, and her booty hole hang-up is interfering with my personal hygiene. From her perspective, I violated a clear boundary she set years ago, and I'm just an overall gross person. I did apologise, but I was upset, and my apology wasn't really sincere. I'm sleeping on the couch right now to try and give her some space, but I'd like to know if I owe her a more sincere apology over this booty rag fiasco. I'm really not sure, and her reaction has me thinking that maybe I actually am disgusting and I'm lacking the perspective to see it. But I also don't think her booty hole aversion is normal. And it's the main reason I ended up resorting to the booty rag solution in the first place and not telling her about it. Wow, what a story. So my immediate reaction to that is to say you are not the booty hole. However, a little caveat that is important to think about is that you definitely should have told her about the rag. Now I get she said she didn't want to know. I get she said just do something else, I don't care about it. But that means she didn't put too much thought into it. And if you're in the shower, I get when you say that my things are mine, hers are hers, but not everything's labelled in a house. And if you're living with someone and you're in a shower, you're not going to stop and think, whose towel is this? Like, realistically, you're just going to reach for a towel that's in the bathroom that you assume is a towel for cleaning one's body. Now, I think you should have told her about the rag, despite her saying that. This is an issue with compromise. We're always told we need to compromise in life, in relationships, and it is important to compromise. However, if the compromise is, I've got a dirty booty and I want you to have a dirty booty too, that's not much of a compromise to be made there. I don't think you should have stepped down from the bidet, and then after you compromise to the wipes, you shouldn't have stepped down from that, and then you end up in a position where you're wiping your booty with a rag and stashing it behind the toilet. Sometimes you just need to have those conversations where there is no compromise available. So I think you are not the booty hole, because she has been completely unfair and unrealistic here. However, having that stashed in the toilet and not telling her was just a recipe for disaster. So now we're going to read some comments, see what everyone else thinks. So the first comment is from Falling Into Polka Dots. They say, I see the problem. How are you supposed to warn her about something she doesn't want to know about? She could have asked, hey, what's that washcloth that's behind the toilet? It's very unfortunate she's been using your booty cloth as a wash rag. Unfortunate is one way I would describe this. Absolutely unfortunate. But also, it couldn't have been gross or anything. So she had no problem using it. So clearly it didn't smell or have poop stains on it. Now, I get the point you're trying to make there. However, that's... if you've been wiping your face with booty rags, I don't think that's going to be much comfort to you. Now it says, I don't see much way around this whole extreme aversion to the knowledge that things come out of butts. I really hope you aren't planning on having kids. Without having a second toilet for you to use, without a bidet or booty rag. Now I do agree with that at the end. Someone who is so disgusted by booties and booty holes, you think they'd be happy that someone is so hygienic and cleans their booty hole on the regular. It's kind of weird and somewhat suspicious that she's very anti-booty hole and doesn't want you to wash your booty hole because of that. That doesn't quite add up. You know what, I think there's a kid's book called Everyone Poops. Try getting Everyone Poops delivered and sit down and have a little read through it together so you can educate her. And it'll be a nice couples activity, learning that everyone poops. The next comment comes from Beatus Bardot, and they say, as a woman, she is completely overreacting. If she doesn't want to wash her booty after a poopy, that's fine, she doesn't have to. But if you want to and prefer to, then that's your God-given right. Like, why is she mad? You want to have good hygiene. She shouldn't be allowed to dictate how you take care of your own booty hole. You don't get to tell her what she can and can't use, so why would she be able to tell you what you can and can't use to clean yourself? That's exactly what I was saying. Why is it up to her to decide how you clean yourself? And also, you are being more clean than her, so how can you possibly judge someone and say no to someone who's trying to do extra cleaning when they're cleaning something that you don't like? Also, she's not being very considerate. She's being very one-sided, and that's not fair in a relationship. You want a bidet? She said no. You downplayed to a rag, and then you... oh, that is a sad state of affairs, isn't it? You want a bidet, she said no, and you downplayed to a rag that you hide and keep out of sight to not bother her, and still she gets to say no. I mean, when you put it like that, it makes it sound a lot worse. I understand sometimes these things can happen, you don't really put too much thought into it, and then you've gone from a bidet to a booty rag. Now she said, how is that fair? Tell her you want to take care of your booty hole the way you see fit, otherwise there's going to be skid marks in the underwear when she does the laundry. You're trying to be considerate to her and her feelings, which is wonderful, and she's just being bossy and selfish, which isn't fair to you. And the last reply comes from Eddie G666, who says, you may not be the booty hole, because she did say she didn't want to know about it, but yes, you are disgusting for rinsing your booty rag in the sink in your shared bathroom. This is exactly why rags are single use in my house. I will never touch a rag that's been left out. I have no clue what that thing's been used for. And I think that sums it all up pretty nicely. It's not your fault, but it's still gross. So I'm going to pass it on to you all in the comments. What do you all think? Do you think this person's in the wrong for what they've done? And would you have handled it differently? How would you have reacted if your partner was telling you you can't wash your booty the way you want? But that brings us to the end of our first ever Reddit video. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn notifications on, because I will be uploading new Reddit videos every single day, and it's only going to go up from here. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you again next time.